Welcome to Britain's favourite Sunday sermon. I think we, the British people, actually deserve to know the truth. It's not just killings, of course, is it? Other violent crimes, knife crime by asylum seekers. How often, how many occurrences are there? We don't know, but we should know. How many rapes? We don't know, but we should know. How much shoplifting, how much criminality, how much drug dealing, how much money laundering? We should be told the answers to these questions, because this is a significant change in what's going on in our country. But of course the authorities, they won't tell us. Do not think for 1 second that that's because they haven't got the data. They absolutely have got the data. So you ask yourself, why won't they tell us? And I think we know the answer. And that is because if they told the truth, it would be a very, very inconvenient truth. And the British people would be absolutely furious. I think we deserve to know. I think this is seriously, seriously important. What are the consequences to our safety of this huge surge in illegal migrants coming across the channel, coming across in lorries, and the size of the backlog? 15 years ago, people were assessed and an appeal dealt with within 2 to 3 weeks. And then, if it wasn't accepted, people were deported. Now people are waiting 18 months, 2 years. And the scale of the illegal working that is going on, it's something I'm going to talk about in more detail in a few weeks. But the scale of illegality, I've talked about those crimes there, but the drug dealing, the money laundering, the barbers shops, the candy shops, the car washes, up and down the country. Everybody knows, no one dares talk about it. The local authorities know, they don't dare talk about it. The police know, they don't dare talk about it. I think we've got to talk about it. I think it's really serious. The consequences are profound for everybody. What's the answer? I'll tell you what the answer is. Do what we know works. Do what Australia did. 10 years ago, they declared a national security emergency. And actually, we're entitled to do the same. Yes, under Article 9 of the UN 51 Convention, we can declare a national security threat. And I believe these circumstances absolutely warrant it. Oh, by the way, under Article 2 of that same UN 51 Convention, all refugees, all asylum seekers have to comply with the rules and regulations of our country. And because of this huge level of illegality, they're all in breach. And that means actually many of their applications could be immediately rejected and then returned. Article 2, UN 51 Convention. You have to comply with our laws and regulations. It wouldn't surprise me if at least 50% of the 175,000 backlog are actually illegal working. Because if you go to the hotels where they're staying during the day, it's like the Mary Celeste. There's no one there. They're out and about. I'll tell you what they're doing. They're working illegally. They're therefore in breach of our rules and regulations. This is a national emergency. That's what the government should do. But of course they won't. Even though we know that actually this is what works. It's what Australia did. They then also had a clear plan of turning back the boats. And that's what we should do. We should pick up and safely take back to the safe country of France. Why not follow that success that we've seen with Australia? How many more people, British citizens, are going to end up dead at the hands of asylum seekers? I think it's unacceptable. I think we need to know the truth. We've got a crisis on our hands. We need to know the truth. We need to know what the answers are. We need to declare a national emergency, and we need to stop the boats. If we do that, then we'll be in a much, much better place. What's required, of course, is bold, courageous leadership. The first thing you've got to do is talk about it. I'm talking about it. No one else is coming up with the truth about this situation. No one else is talking about the only thing we know that actually will stop the boats. But I will, because I know what works. It's time for change. It's time to stop the boats. It's time that we actually got a grip of this illegal and dangerous crisis. I know it's a tough message. I know it's the Sunday sermon, but that is what is required to be done. And with that, here endeth my Sunday sermon.